at Santa Tomas, which is about 5 blocks away. It's a university, St. Thomas University. Huh?
It was 5 miles away from Billy.
5 blocks away from Billabong.
Okay.
Okay, so the 1st Cavalry Division was starting to make the drive to Manila. And the orders were to get to Santa Tomas immediately, as fast as you can, to prevent those people from being slaughtered and massacred. So these tanks of the 1st Cavalry Division spearheaded its way in. They were rolling in fast.
And this took
We're getting to the part where, so we had started a novena in Bilibid. This was about, let's see, this is February, the night of February 3rd. It must have been 2 or 3 days. They would have church service. And at night they would have a little rosary and... No, where the Catholics could go. No, everybody wasn't Catholic. But they had this Catholic church. And naturally I went.
So y'all had a priest?
Yeah, we had chaplains. We had chaplains. And the priest, we were going we say the rosary every night. And when we got there this Sunday night, it was a Sunday night, and he said, we're going to say, no, it was a Saturday. He said, what we're going to do tonight, he said, we're going to have a special devotion. He said, we're going to have a 24-hour rosary, what we call a perpetual rosary. Everybody looked around and said, what is all that? He said, well, we're going to do that for an immediate, so he knew something was up, an immediate and safe liberation. So what we're going to do is...
He actually said that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I was there. Oh, he said it. We're going to say a perpetual rosary, and everybody took an hour. For 24 hours. I think mine was 12 to 1 or something. At night. And what happened, when you finished saying the rosary, you went and woke up the other guy who had the next hour. And he said, and he went and woke up the next guy. All right, so we did that.
Move, Mark.
And
Marshall.
And then he said, now the intention of this was for an immediate and safe liberation.
Yeah.
Okay. So we said it that, and we went back at 7 o'clock the next night for the closing of this particular novena. All the ones who were doing it. There must have been maybe 15, 12, 15 guys. And as soon as we finished the service, now this is the truth, don't help me. As soon as we finished the service, and we were going away, we heard a machine gun firing out in the distance.
Oh, well this gives me goosebumps.
Well, wait, I'm telling you the truth. So I said, we were talking, we said, must be test firing. They always test fire their weapons. You know, every now and then they test fire them to make sure they work. So we heard this machine gun off in the distance like it was shooting up by the levee up there. Pop, 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 wham, oh, yeah, a big one, crunch. And it'd be quiet for you. Well, must be some dumb job. And we hear another gun picking up, which was closer. Pop, 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 whammo, and another big explosion. And it would shut up for a while. Then it got closer. Same thing. Wham! Big explosion. I said, what the hell is going on? So by that time, we hear these rumblings coming. And it was tank trails.
What time was this?
This was about, what, 10 after 7.
On what day?
The Sunday, when we closed the novena.
And that was that
That was
morning.
February what?
February the 3rd, the night of the 3rd.
Okay.
Was that night?
So, it was like, about like this. It was, well, it's not 7 o'clock,
Yeah,
but
it was dusk.
It was dusk. And then we heard these tanks rumbling around and whammo firing. We had walls. We had 18-foot walls, old Spanish prison. Couldn't see outside. Bilibid is in the middle of Manila.
But you still had guards there.
And the guards were in the guard towers. They were shooting out in the street. We could see the guards shooting out in the street, and tanks running around the place, and blasts and explosions going on. And they rang bells, and we all had to go inside when they rang the bell. So they rang the bells, we all went inside, and went on for maybe 10 minutes. All kinds of shooting and explosions and blaring, and all of a sudden, nothing. We were expecting the tanks to come into the place that we knew, but it had to be an early, because we had to shoot them. We were expecting them to come into the place and get us. We didn't know we were there.
Oh, wow.
So it quieted down. What in the hell is going to happen to us now?
And y'all all stayed inside. Nobody,
We stayed inside.
nobody peeked outside?
Well, you look out the bars, but you can't see anything but a wall. So we didn't hear any more. We didn't know what was going on too. But there were American planes flying everywhere. Bombs, explosions going on. Big artillery pieces were starting to fire, going across the camp, and whammo. All this stuff going on.
Right over here.
Yeah. Man, what is that? So finally, didn't hear any more. And then the next morning, we're still in our camp, in our thing. Next morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, everybody had to get up. Bang, 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 everybody up. Dark outside.
Y'all didn't go to sleep though.
Well, we halfway slept. We were talking, trying to figure out what the hell was going on.
Yeah.
So all the way in the back of my mind, I knew there was going to be a day when the Japanese were either going to have to turn us over to Americans, and I knew they weren't going to do that,
I'll call y'all out.
or they were going to probably kill us. That was the way it was. We knew them. We knew how they operated. So that morning at 4 o'clock, we got everybody out. Everybody out, everybody out. Got to be counted, got to be counted.
So usually got up at 4
Every
o'clock?
morning, no, we used to get up at about 6, and you had to line up to get counted, you see, every time. See, nobody was getting. This is 4 o'clock in the morning. We got up and we started walking out, and there were all the Jap guards lined up with their rifles and their helmets and all their stuff.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And they lined us all up against the wall.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's
And, and then they started, like they were counting us off and everything. We were there facing them. Of course, you know, figured, well, this is going to be it. What a dirty deal. Anyway, then the Jap interpreter comes up, and he reads from a paper. And he said, through the graciousness of the Emperor, you are hereby lawfully released prisoners of war.
Did y'all read?
Huh?
Did you realize what he was saying when
Oh,
he
yeah, I
said
knew what he was saying. Sure, I knew what he was saying.
Didn't think it was fake?
No.
or
I knew what he was saying, but I was stunned. He said, I was
Everybody
was
was.
elsewhere. And he says, he said, by the way, you do not leave the compound because there's chances of being injured outside, because we could hear all the shooting and fighting going on. What had happened, the Battle of Manila had started already. And they turned around and did a right face and marched out the camp.
God. How many of y'all were there?
There were about 250 of us.
Y'all started jumping up, down, and cheering and everything?
Oh, we started cheering, went and got all the rice sacks and opened them up and started cooking all the food because they wasn't giving us all anything to eat.
You didn't know how long you were going to have to stay
We
there.
didn't care, we knew it wasn't going to be long. The Japs gone.
Well, I wonder how the Japs could get by, could get out of there.
Yeah.
They got out, I don't know, the American lines hadn't moved up yet. The tanks had come in and gone to Santa Tomas and saved the people over there.
They'd already been through Bill a bit. Didn't know y'all was still in
They didn't know
there.
that, they'd gone and saved the civilians. And it was so happened the 37th Infantry was moving in, and there was a patrol that they sent out to reconnoiter, to find out what's ahead. And they got to our camp and they knew nobody was there, but they wanted to check it, and they knocked the big boards down where there was a gate. And they stepped in and they saw us.
They thought they were
And they said, well, what are you guys doing here? I said, well,
That's what I'm saying.
what are y'all doing here? And they were big old people with green weapons and all kinds of things we'd never seen.
Big old people.
We thought they looked like people from Mars.
Well, who were they?
Because they were American.
American soldiers.
They were healthy.
They were big people. They weren't skin and bones like us. We didn't realize how healthy people looked, you know.
And the Americans thought they were.
And they had new type helmets on. They had new combat boots and all that stuff. We didn't know who they were. And then they came in and found us and said, well, we didn't know anybody was here. So we took all their cigarettes and all their candy and everything. Then they radioed their headquarters and said they had found us.
They were looking for you?
No,
They didn't know they were there.
They didn't want to leave us, you see. So they said, well, wait, this was about 4 o'clock that afternoon. They after left 4 o'clock that morning.
This was February.
February the 4th. So then, that night, we kept them up talking, telling us everything about the war because we didn't know anything.
Yeah.
They were glad that they had found us.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure they were.
So then the next morning, they moved the command post up, and more troops came in. And they used our headquarters, our prison as a headquarters, the command post. And it was 3 days before they could get us out because they had to bring trucks up. But they couldn't get the trucks up too close because the fighting was going on in the city, house-to-house fighting.
Well, let me ask you, back to the novena, have you seen any of the guys that you did the novena with afterwards?
When we were liberated, I see Tom Cronin. I'm gonna see him probably in San Francisco.
He was one of the
Tom
ones that
Cronin,
ran the
boy, he was
novena.
Catholic. Yeah, he and I are about the only two that
that you
that I
see.
can remember.
You
I
mean
don't
Miller
remember the
didn't
other.
go?
Huh?
Cody Miller didn't go?
Cody Miller didn't go.
Was he with you?
Yeah.
Huh.
He didn't go to the novena.
And so then they got y'all out of there.
Well, we had to go about 5 blocks. We had to go about 5 blocks while the fighting was
Nobody who
going
got
on.
liberated got killed after that.
But there were mortars, a couple of mortar shells fell into the camp. Nobody got hurt. But going to the trucks, we had to go out the back and go down about 5 blocks. And the infantrymen were in the streets. And they were firing in the buildings. And now and then we'd hear a shell coming in and we'd all have to take cover. But no one was hit.
And then they took y'all 5 blocks to where?
Yeah, but that's where the trucks were. They couldn't bring the trucks in any closer.
Okay, and
we
then-
had to go to the trucks.
And then they go put you on a
They
truck.
put us on a truck and took us to a shoe factory.
Who were you fighting? Who were they fighting in there?
Fighting the Japanese.
I thought the Japanese left. They
My
had
people
guards
left,
there.
but the other troops were there.
Oh, okay.
I don't know where my people, where our guards went to. They just left. But there were Jap people all over the place. They had put artillery pieces on the 3rd floor of the post office building and were firing from there. See, there was a river down the middle of Manila, the Pasig River. And our prison was on one side and they were working their way up to that edge of the river.